And this just in. Former BC Premier Christy Clark will not be running. She thanks Canadians for their support, but says she has made the difficult decision to step back, in part to give her and them time to improve her French. All right, let's turn to CTV's senior political correspondent Mike Couture with more on this breaking news that Christy Clark is not going to be throwing her hat into the ring. Hi there, Mike. What more are you learning? We had heard before that Christy Clark was brushing up on her French, trying to learn French.
Yeah, that's what we understand as well. And she has written in this letter to supporters essentially saying that there wasn't enough time in this leadership race and that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau didn't leave the party enough time for a fulsome race. We're also learning that there was a very emotional call with her core team where Christy Clark basically said that she didn't see a path forward here and she believed that a lot of other teams maybe had more time to gather that type of support. She also writes in this letter that there are important issues that still need to be tackled, confronting the U.S., fighting for a strong, united Canada, and restoring faith in our institutions. But as I had said, in this letter, she says, there simply is not enough time to mount a successful campaign for me and to effectively connect with Francophone Canadians in their language. That, of course, something that is essential, but something else, Marcia, that I think is interesting. All of this comes just a couple of days after it was discovered that Christy Clark had signed up to be a member of the Conservative Party. She explains that it was to stop Pierre Poilievre and to support Jean Charest. But of course, you can't be the member of two parties at the same time. She had said she had been a lifelong Liberal, but at the same time, she said in this interview and was caught basically saying that, yes, she did actually become a Conservative for a certain period of time. That may have contributed to this, of course, because imagine a leadership race where she tries to explain how deeply she is ingrained and ingratiated into this party. That would be a difficult one to have, especially when you consider some of the other leadership contenders, as you've laid out here. Mark Carney yesterday on The Daily Show, Chrystia Freeland expecting that Karina Gould as well will announce. And she again said, I won't be in this leadership race, but I won't stop fighting. Perhaps setting up another leadership race down the road, if there is one down the road.
Down the road. Okay, she might be playing the long game. So, Mike, thanks for bringing us this breaking news. I do want to ask you before you go, in terms of front runners, is it too soon, too early in this contest to say who they are?
I don't think so. I think when you consider who has been out there and who has put their name out or who has hinted that they might be out there, I think there is a clear sort of tiering of where we are right now, where you see Mark Carney yesterday coming out really heavily hinting, and as we understand that he will announce a little later on this week. And then, of course, Chrystia Freeland, who again, heavily hinting as well. Now, the first cabinet minister that we're hearing that will also be announcing is Karina Gould. I would say that she is possibly a tier lower than that, and only because when you consider her portfolio and her prominence within the Liberal government. But there is a lot of momentum that we are hearing behind her as well. Young Liberals trying to line up behind her as well. So it'll be interesting to see there. And then, Frank Baylis, Chandra Arya. Frank Baylis being a Montreal businessman, former MP. Chandra Arya is a current MP. Those are mounting bids as well. Whether or not they'll hit that high threshold of $350,000 to make sure that they do sign up enough people as well, and to have that fundraising, that is another question altogether. Even though we know that Frank Baylis is a successful businessman, you still have to raise that money, and it's not like you can put in your own money, Marcia, and it's not like you can have just one donor give you all that money. You do have to raise it in increments as well, so that could be a challenge for some of those others.
Mike Couture for us with the breaking news that Christy Clark is not running for the Liberal leadership. Mike, thanks so much for that.